My name is Naomi Schanz, and I work for Schenectady Community Action Program. I am a case manager, and my involvement initially was actually a volunteer. I went on my own accord and volunteered with the families in Rotterdam Junction, initially beginning them help gut their houses and do some initial cleanup, and then through my employment we were able to volunteer our time and to do some case management, follow up on assessments, and meet with the families to make sure that they had just the supplies and the needs that they had to move forward. The response, the emotional response of the individuals and the families that I met was just, I was really in awe of them, because they just experienced a devastating impact on their life, and they were so nice and so kind and just so generous to their neighbors. Their concern was about their neighbors. They weren't bothered by the fact that they had 20, 30 different people saying to them, how can I help you, how can I help you? They were just very grateful and accepting of help. But at the same time, I would feel that maybe I would be upset, and maybe that I personally would be maybe just angry, and they didn't really portray that. Like, there was no anger, they weren't upset with you, they weren't mean to you. Everybody was just so nice and friendly, and I found that really amazing. When you talk about specific families or events or people, it's really hard to focus on like one family, because each family was very unique. They each had different concerns and different needs, and so I remember a lot of different families for different reasons. One of the families I remember because I actually did their initial assessment, and then I had the pleasure of being able to follow up with them, and I got to know their family and their children, and even 6 months after the event they were calling me because they had to take their son to the hospital because he had hurt his knee or elbow, and there was some concern about just health insurance. So it was great to be able to follow their family and see their progress from the initial impact of the flood to them being able to move back into their home like the day before Christmas, which was great for them. And other families that really stood out to me, they were very functional in their life, and then along came this flood and just devastated every aspect of their life, and things that they were able to maintain, whether it be a loss of a spouse or a divorce or child support, they were able to maintain that. But due to the overall impact of the flood, those minor incidents of life became very accented to them, and they were struggling and just needed a little assistance. I guess there's not like one thing that I actually took away from this experience. There was a lot of different things. I was really in awe of community, their sense of community. Something that, so in awe of it that I actually thought maybe I need to look for a community in my own life. And but what I really took from it was the fact that these individuals and families, as devastated as they were being homeless and they had no place to go, and they had built their lives around their houses and where they lived, they were still giving back, and they were still volunteering even though their lives was basically in ruin. Yet they were still at a neighbor's house helping that neighbor, or they were volunteering at the firehouse, or they were just volunteering to give out resources to other families. And I took that as, even though I'm very lucky, and even though my life is very busy, I don't give back enough, or I don't give back enough to the community. So what I took from this was increase in volunteering and giving back to my community, and just being a little more generous with my resources.